Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. And today, before we start today's video, here is an announcement to make. My two e-learning modules on fundamentals of project management and fundamentals of business communication are out there on Udemy. It's a 3-hour course on each subject with lots of downloadable resources as well as tests and quizzes in between. The link is mentioned in the description box below, as well as the referral code for discounts. So do check it out, and if you are enrolling, I'll see you on that side. And now, before we start today's topic, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Today, let's talk about how to listen and how do we listen. Is there any framework or technique or science behind how do we listen? Well, the way we listen to others may play a major role in building stronger relationships at work. Research shows that in a conversation, it takes the brain just 0.07 seconds to form an initial impression of the other person's intent, to decide whether to trust that person or not. When we sense threat in a conversation, stress hormones are released and we may not be able to engage and connect. But how to listen? So let's get started and let's understand on these lines in detail. Judith Glaser, an author who has written a book on conversational intelligence, has suggested a framework that we listen with 3 prominent attitudes. Now, each one influences how the speaker will respond to us. The first is listening to protect. Here you are on the defensive mode. You are trying to protect your identity and your space. Now, here the speaker may feel ignored. Number 2, listening to accept or reject. You're listening with an intent to judge. The speaker may feel labeled. You will often see examples of this during a team meeting in your offices. And number 3, listening to co-create. You are listening to connect here with the other person, and there is psychological safety. You begin with the intent to explore and understand. You have points in mind like, what are they trying to say? What are they thinking? What are they expecting to explore with me? How can I connect to their world? When you choose to listen with openness, the neurochemistry of both your own body language and that of the other person will come to your aid, creating the opportunity to build greater understanding. In fact, listening is fun and can give you fresh new perspectives. Now, we just understood that how do we listen? With 3 points, that is listening to protect, listening to accept or reject, or listening to co-create. But now, let's understand how to be a good listener. Now, to develop better listening habits, practice these 4 tips in your next conversation. Number 1, join with the right intention. When you are in a conversation, begin with an intention to really listen to the other person. Make sure that you believe they have something of value to say and that it is important for you to give them a chance to say it. Be it in your personal or professional life, be it in a meeting with your siblings, your younger ones, or even when you are attending a training at your organization. Don't have that I know it all attitude. Number 2, use both your head and heart. Try to understand not just the what, but also the why, and that why you will only be able to understand with your heart. Good listening will help you both understand the reasons and connect with the emotions behind what's being said. Number 3, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Very important. No one understands your situations and challenges, right? We all feel this kind of thing at some point in life. Well, that perspective applies for the other person too. So listen with empathy and compassion, even if your own constraints prevent you from helping them. At least you can listen thoughtfully. And number 4, show that you are engaged. Give the conversation your full attention. Ask open ended questions to understand things better rather than jumping into conclusions or impulsive opinions. Now, try these tips for the next few conversations you have and see how you develop personal relationships with deeper connections, even in your professional setup. The more actively you listen, the more you will be heard. Judith Glaser, in her book Conversational Intelligence, quotes multiple researchers to explain that when we sense threat in a conversation, the amygdala, which is the part of the limbic system in our brain, triggers the protection mode and a few hormones such as cortisol are released. When cortisol floods through our bodies, we may not be able to engage and connect, and we are likely to become more reactive, emotional, and impulsive. We also tend to perceive situations more negatively. On the other hand, conversations that encourage cooperation and understanding result in the release of a different set of hormones, including oxytocin, which reinforce a bonding experience. That is, when we stop being protective and begin to connect with others to build lasting relationships based on mutual trust. Hence, by choosing the way we listen, we have the power to influence the neurochemical reactions that happen in the brain. So, be mindful of your listening abilities and try to improve your listening quotient in order to be a great conversationalist. So that's it for today's video. Stay tuned for many more such interesting articles, stories, case studies, methods, models, my thoughts related to management, and also for the Weekend Club series every bi-monthly, which is twice in a month. I'll see you next week.